I asked my wife to proof a recent video that I did, and when she was all done, she had a couple of questions, and I decided to answer them in this video. She said, "What's overlay? And what's reveal? What's boring distance?" Those are some questions she had. And I thought that when somebody watched a video, they wouldn't have any trouble figuring it out. Another thing she asked was, what's the difference between a face frame cabinet and a frameless cabinet? Well, this right here, this is a tiny cabinet built and there is no face frame on it. And over here is a tiny cabinet built and it does have a face frame all the way around. So this is a face frame and a face frame cabinet. This is a frameless cabinet. So that's two of the questions answered. Then she had a question on boring distance. So this represents a door. And the boring distance is that little bit of distance from the edge of the door to the edge of the hole, right there. Now, for me, I like that to be 6 millimeters. I almost always use 6 millimeters. But in the industry, especially with bloom cabinets, quite a few years ago, the bloom machine that they use for drilling holes and inserting hinges had a preset at 5, and the new ones are preset at 6. Well, I kind of adopted this 6 for myself, and I do almost everything that way. So my drilling distance from the edge of the hole to the edge of the door is 6 millimeters, almost everything I do. Now there's also door thickness, and that's this right here, door thickness. How thick is your door? In this case, this one's 19 millimeters or 3/4 of an inch. So that was another question that she had. Diane also had a question on fixed distance. So with my hinge cup closed, the amount of the hinge cup here that overlays my side panel here on a frameless cabinet, that is called the fixed distance. It's the amount that the hinge cup covers the side panel. The same thing is true on a face frame cabinet. With the hinge closed, the amount of the cup that covers the face frame is called the fixed distance of the hinge. So what about reveal and overlay? Well, let's start with the frameless cabinet. Now we've attached the doors to the frameless cabinet. And you can see this little bit of space right here. That's the reveal. That's how much is left over after the door overlays the side of the cabinet. So there is door overlay, how much the door covers the side panel, and there's reveal, how much is left over. Now that's not the only reveal. There's reveal here on the top. That's also called reveal. And between the two doors, here, this is also reveal. Now let's look at a face frame cabinet. We're going to attach the doors again. The doors are attached on our face frame cabinet. The amount that the door overlays this face frame is called the overlay. And whatever's left, that's reveal. Same thing on the top. So you have door overlay and the reveal, the part of the face frame that shows. And the space in between the two doors is also called a reveal. Now let's look at one more application, and that is the inset door. We'll attach the hinge. That's an inset door. The door, there is no overlay at all. You can see the side panel of the cabinet. It would work the same way for a face frame cabinet. However, there are reveals, like there's a reveal here on the top, and there's a reveal along the edge and on the bottom. And if we had the other door attached, then you would also notice there's a reveal between the doors. That covers face frame cabinets and frameless cabinets, overlay, and reveals. Well, there's one more piece of terminology that I nearly forgot, and that is gap. Well, so far we've talked about reveal, and here's an example of reveal between the doors. And then there is also a reveal here on the side. The term we're going to look at right now is called gap, and that's the space behind the door. You see where I'm putting this little piece of plastic? That's where the gap is, behind the door and in front of the cabinet, the gap. Now for most European hinges by Bloom, that gap is adjustable. So let's take a look here. This is the gap right here between the door and the cabinet. And you'll see now that that is an adjustable thing. You see how that gives you a lot of movement there. So with the Bloom hinges, there is adjustability in the gap. Now, that same term applies to face frame cabinets as well. So let's take a look at the face frame cabinet. We have the space that's behind the door. And you can see here, and you can see that that space is adjustable. I hope that's been helpful. And if it has, give it the thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe.